As part of my statutory obligation to update the board on the CLSG project implementation and institutional governing, I'm here today to present to your honorable body progress we have achieved in 2019 amidst challenges that I will highlight later. I will also outline our plans for the next year and its accompanying budget for your consideration and approval. My report to the board includes this statement and a PowerPoint presentation on the implementation of the project, accompanied by outcomes of the various committee reports, which will be presented separately by their respective chairs. Before I proceed, Mr. Chairman, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the invaluable support and unwavering commitments of the CLSG stakeholders, including the board chairman, our esteemed board members, donor partners, and the countries in the CLSG project implementation. Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Directors, as the board may recall, our main objectives for 2019 were anchored on 3 pillars. Pillar 1, we set out to build upon our efforts to implement the CLSG project and deliver the transmission line infrastructure in 2020. Pillar 2, we plan to continue collaborating with WAP, that is the West African Power Pool, other regional bodies, and national institutions. And Pillar 3, strengthen the institution of Transco to ensure it is more responsive to the current and emerging needs of key stakeholders. In March of 2019, I also presented to the board our proposals to accelerate implementation of the project and ensure that electricity is delivered to Monrovia by the end of December 2019 and to Freetown as well as Zerikuri by March 2020. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, the construction works of all substation sites in Liberia and Sierra Leone are far advanced, and testing is currently ongoing on primary equipment before final delivery in early 2020, except for the Botota substation in Liberia that will be completed in December of 2020. For the construction of transmission line, 1,186 towers have been erected and stringing is ongoing along 214 kilometers across the 4 countries. The overall progress increased significantly from 22% at year-end of 2018 to 65% at the end of November 2019. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, while we have made great strides towards achieving these targets, I regret to inform you that we will not be able to complete the section of the transmission line from Man to Monrovia by December 31, 2019, and deliver electricity to Monrovia. This is largely on account of serious challenges the project encountered, which were beyond our control. These unforeseen circumstances include, among others, extreme weather conditions that were observed through the prolonged heavy rainy season compared to previous years that destroyed roads and bridges, flooded project sites, and hampered transportation of materials and equipment. We also discovered a massive rocks at the Man substation located in Côte d'Ivoire that slowed down excavation and foundation activities due to environmental concerns. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, mindful of the long delays that the project has so far faced, we realized that more efforts were required to recover the missed targets. To this end, management engaged the contractors and the owner engineer through bilateral meetings to agree on new timelines and action plans. We also met in Brussels to quickly address major stumbling blocks that surrounded approval of foundations and invoices. Today, I'm delighted to inform you that the EPC contractors have increased the mobilization of their teams and equipment at no extra cost to the project. KEC and NCC are working long hours in the night to ensure the new target of March 2020 is attained. Moreover, together with our owners engineer, we have intensified our efforts to monitor and supervise contractors' performance through daily engagements, bilateral, bi-weekly video conferences, and monthly supervisions of missions on the field. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, as we prepare ourselves to begin commercial operations, we have advanced on the procurement of the temporary operation and maintenance contractor. World Bank has agreed to finance this activity and has provided a no objection to single source the services of CRE as a temporary OMN, initially for a period of 1 year, while we vigorously pursue the recruitment of the permanent operation and maintenance contractor. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, mindful that the CLSG project is a regional effort, management continue to collaborate with the West African Power Pool, IRERA, OMVG, and national utilities to ensure that the CLSG transmission lines remains a major component of the WAP regional network. We also continue to work closely with national institutions through bilateral engagements to optimize efficiencies of the CLSG network. Following these agreements, KFW has provided a no objection for the construction of additional bays at the Yekepa substation in Liberia to boost mining load. Also, the EIB, that is the European Investment Bank, approved additional bays at the Bombona substation in Sierra Leone to connect freighter. The World Bank is currently reviewing the technical and financial proposal from Kapataru for the construction of a 161 kV line that links CLSG Bombona substation to the existing EGTC substation. While the Board Task Force has supported authorities in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea to identify and monitor the implementation of national projects that will be connected to the CLSG network, I'm disappointed to state that progress has been very slow. With the exception of connection at the Mankofi substation and efforts to connect the Bombona substation, other significant projects that were identified in the roadmap agreed upon with key stakeholders for the implementation of these projects in Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone are moving at a slow pace. The rural electrification component of the CLSG project in the 3 countries is so far beyond schedule. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, we are deeply concerned and worried that countries may not be ready to take the full volumes of 83 megawatts when we commission the transmission line in 2020. That is 27 megawatts for each country initially agreed upon in the PPAs and TSA that were signed in November of 2016. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, as we move closer to the commissioning of transmission line infrastructure, we recognize that building a strong institution that could respond to the many challenges we face in the implementation of this complex project remains a top priority. Recognizing that the process to transition from the construction phase to operation phase may pose real hurdles, management has recruited a change management advisor to support the company in preparing a roadmap to plan and implement key changes in staffing, logistics, and business process that will make the process seamless. Internal auditor conducted several assignments as part of the efforts to improve the risk management framework on the project implementation and to improve the internal control system. A comprehensive internal audit report was presented to the 10th Audit and Good Governance Committee meeting. After expiration of the contract of PricewaterhouseCoopers, We hired a new firm, Sodimas Denny, which conducted the external audit mission for 2018, and a report was subsequently, within the required deadline, submitted to the board and CLSG donors in June of 2019. In addition, management has developed and updated key institutional documents that will prepare the company to begin commercial operations. These documents include: 1. The updated financial and administrative policies and procedures manual taking into account feedback, comments received from the internal auditor and external audit on the version that the board approved in 2016. Number 2, the information technology policies and procedure manual prepared by management. And finally, the procurement tender code. The Board Finance and Administration Committee has reviewed and adopted these documents for approval by the board. Further, management has hired AETS, a consulting firm, to update the business plan and financial model. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, the initial results from the updating of the business plan indicate that the transit of energy along the CLSG transmission line system in the earlier years of commercial operation will be very low and may not be sufficient for Transport CLSG to achieve commercial viability in the short to medium term. Transport CLSG will therefore require significant budget support in the early years of operation from donors and CLSG member states to cover operations and maintenance costs, administrative expenses, and debt service obligations. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, financial management continue to ensure compliance with statutory requirements, approve financial policies and procedure, as well as donor financial management guidelines. In this regard, I'm happy to inform you that the third quarter interim financial reports, comprising the interim management report and interim financial statement, were presented to the FAD committee meeting on December 13 and 14, along with the annual work program and budget for 2020 for the adoptions of the committee and its subsequent approval by the board. The budget estimate for 2020 do not include the cost for operation and maintenance contractor, as the finances of this activity has not been fully determined. Given that the operation and maintenance contractor will be hired before the end of the construction phase, and that Transco CLSG will not begin to earn significant revenues to cover the cost for operation and maintenance in 2019, donors were requested to consider financing the first year cost of the operation and maintenance, estimated at $8 million. The World Bank has shown interest to consider financing these activities using available balances in their existing financing of the CLSG project. The total budget for 2020, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, is put at $186.67 million, of which US $167.8 million is for the expenditures related to EPC contractors. US $3.4 million is for implementation of ESMP, that is the Environmental and Social Management Program and Resettlement Action Plan, that include compensation of people affected by the project. US $8.1 million for expenditure in respect to the owner's engineer's contract, and US $7.4 million for the functioning of Transco CLSG. While the current allocation of funds by donors fully covers the budget for EPC contractors and EPC contracts, the owner's engineer, there is a financing gap of US $5.47 million for functioning of Transco CLSG that has not yet been secured. The first 5-year allocations of $21.4 million from the World Bank for Transco CLSG functioning was completely utilized in the third quarter of 2019. And the gap for 2019 was filled by additional funds of euros 0.9 million from the KFW. At the last donor meeting held in Monrovia on December 9 and 10 of 2019, Management presented the financial needs of Transco CLSG that include the financing gap of 5.47 million. The World Bank and KFW have expressed a strong interest to provide the funds needed to fill the gap. Management and donors have agreed to have further discussion on this Thursday, December 19, to agree on financing strategy. While discussions with donors continue, management proposes the following. The budget of US $186.67 million for 2020 is to be financed as follows. The World Bank will provide $88.48 million. AFDB will provide $58.61 million. EIB will provide $7.76 million. KFW $21.1 million. ESMP and RAP contribution by member countries $3.37 billion. Capital contribution by shareholders $1.84 million. The gap to be filled by the World Bank and the KFW will go directly to $5.47 million. The payment of outstanding contribution by shareholders will finance the related activities for 2020. The financing gap for RDC has not been included in the budget for 2020. The need for additional contributions to fill the RDC gap will be discussed with the 4 CLSG countries after a determination of the amount required. Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, looking ahead into 2020, our main priority for next year is to complete all EPC contracts, commission and energize the transmission line, and launch the operation and maintenance phase. In particular, we will conclude the recruitment of temporary operation and maintenance Plan B contractor by February of 2020 for a period of 1 year. Therefore, a new operator will be recruited to take over operation and maintenance for a period of 4 years. During the first quarter of 2020, Transco CLSG will organize meetings with the 4 utilities to conclude, renegotiate, and sign the power purchase agreements and transmission service agreement that were adopted and signed in 2016. These meetings will also finalize the interconnection agreement. The final draft report of the updated business plan will be available in January of 2020 for their consideration by management and donors. The FAD committee has established a task force that will assist management to review the report and finalize the business plan to for approval by the board in March of 2020. With the support of the board, management will continue to work closely with government officials and national utilities to outline a revenue generation strategy for Transco CLSG that is aligned with great expansion to capture industrial and mining loads in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, as I close my statement, I invite the board to consider the following for approval. Recommendation from the FAD committee for the board to approve the 2020 budget of 186.6 million and its related work program. This total budget includes an amount of 7.4 million for the functioning of Transco CLSG. Recommendation from the FAD committee for the board to approve the following institutional documents. 1. IT policy manual. 2. Procurement tender code. 3. Revised financial management policy manual. And 3. Revised administrative procedure manual volume 3. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, as we make steady progress towards achieving our dream, the management of Transco CLSG recognizes significant contributions of the board in our efforts to bring life to the people of the CLSG countries. You have clearly demonstrated your invaluable support to making sure our path is smooth and continue to be smooth. We are also grateful to our donors, the government, and the members utilities of the CLSG countries for their partnership and support in pushing the CLSG project forward. We are highly confident that with your continual support, we will complete the construction of the CLSG interconnection line and begin commercial operations in 2020. Finally, I would like to extend my profound thanks and appreciation to my dynamic team for their hard work, resilience, commitment, and passion that we have made possible to achieve the key deliverables during the years on the project implementation and institutional functions. Through their efforts, we've achieved key milestones towards project implementation. Before I say Merry Christmas to everybody, once more in joining the chairman, I want to extend our deepest condolences to the late Saidi Duncan passing away. Mr. Saidi Duncan was very resourceful during our many years working on the CLSG project in the board meeting. He was always there, making himself available. We would like to wish the family well, and God bless him. Thank you. Merry Christmas to all.